Hey guys, so I'm in Montmartre today. I've got a few things I need to take care of in the area. So I always try to multitask, obviously. So I'm waiting now on the shuttle bus to take me up to Sacre-Cœur, where the church is. So in the meantime, I thought, okay, what's going on? So I just checked on my phone. I saw that there was a sighting of the Duchess of Sussex today. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. She was sighted in California, in Santa Barbara. And it was an event about empowering girls. And they issued a press release from Sussex.com, I believe. So it says, in celebration of International Day of the Girl, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, visited Girls Inc. of Greater Santa Barbara to engage with young girls about their experiences growing up in the digital age. And it says that the visit coincided with the announcement of contributions from the Archwell Foundation, Pivotal Ventures, and the Oprah Winfrey Charitable Foundation to support a partnership between Girls Inc. and hashtag Half the Story. And it's aimed at delivering essential digital wellness programming to girls in underserved communities across America. So that's really cool. It's specifically targeting girls in America. Because I think sometimes, in America, you have a lot of people who are in need of all kinds of different things, but because they are in America, people, especially philanthropists, sometimes overlook Americans, and they do all their philanthropy abroad because other people are perceived as more in need, and sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes people abroad are much better off than you realize, and people in America are a lot less well off than you think. So sometimes it's good to, I think, focus philanthropy specifically in America. It's important to focus all over, but sometimes I think, actually focusing on America is a really good idea. Anyway, so as I said, I'm in Montmartre, just sort of people watching and taking photographs. I like just, photographing little moments. So I thought I would share that with you. I don't think that I saw much more in terms of outings by Meghan and Harry recently. I think for the most part, no news is good news with those two, right? Although, if you listen to the UK press, and in particular the Daily Mail and the Sun as well, it seems that they are really trying hard to paint this picture of Harry and Meghan, going their separate ways. Harry, God forbid, took a solo trip recently, as we all know. And unlike other men in his family, like his father and his brother, who likewise take solo trips without their spouses all the time, Harry was not given the same benefit of the doubt, the same deference, the same consideration, right? He took a solo trip, and that was a condemnation somehow of Meghan. That was a message to Meghan that he's going his separate ways, the marriage is over. I mean, these are the same people who claim that Harry had become Meghan's spare, right? So you know that people are messing with you when they do that, because Harry was supposedly becoming Meghan's spare just a couple of months ago. Like, for example, their last trip to Colombia, he was the spare, and the Colombia trip happened in about September. We're now in October. So the very next trip, he goes solo for whatever his reason, right? He goes solo. He stands on his own. Meghan lets him. She gives him space. Now the narrative is that he's going his separate ways, right? They're no longer talking about him being her spare. He's going his separate ways. The marriage is in trouble. He no longer wants Meghan. Meghan looks lost without Harry. And Harry is, welcomed back into the royal fold without Meghan, and yada, 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 yada. I mean, there just is no end to the ridiculousness that these people spew on a daily basis. But it's funny because I noticed that more and more American publications, like today I was looking at a report on the Hill. It was a political report. They were talking about Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, and certain allegations about him, and the nanny and him and the girlfriend, this, that, and the third. And one of them cited or quoted the Daily Mail in this report. And I was like, the Daily Mail? So you're telling me that American media are now quoting the Daily Mail as some kind of reliable source for a political article, no less? It wasn't even about Meghan and Harry. It's now like they're infiltrating, all of the just all of the subject matters that one possibly could find in the media. And I just thought that was really chilling. That's really chilling. The idea that the Daily Mail has its tentacles in other things, and people are actually taking them seriously. But yeah, I think that Harry and Meghan are at a point at the moment where no news is good news, really. And because of that, people get nervous. Like, I mean, there's no news, there's nothing new. Let's make up a story. Let's keep her in the headlines. Let's keep them in the headlines at any cost. We've got it. I mean, I saw something. What else did I see? Something that was mentioned today. Like, I don't even want to repeat it. It was just so stupid. And I just thought, you know what? I just hit, next article. I didn't even stick around to sort of delve deeply into what these people were saying. But the thing is that no matter what is going on, like for example, the Diddy case is such a big media powwow. Most people are focused on that, but these people are like dogs with a bone. They can't let up. They're not going to be, veered from Meghan as the subject matter, right? Their whole bread and butter is Meghan, and they're staying on Meghan no matter if the heavens fall. So they're talking about Meghan, but they're talking about just nonsense and things that drain my energy. And I'm just like, I'm not going to stick around and, deal with that. I'm going to talk about Diddy. I mean, I understand that nobody wants to hear about Diddy on my channel, right? But I'm talking about Diddy because, I find that interesting. And I mean, I'm talking about Harry and Meghan, but I'm not going to be manipulated by the UK media and the Daily Mail, the Sun, and all of these other people with their nonsensical articles about nonsense every single day. So Meghan was wearing a pair of white pants, and she was wearing a blue shirt with a brown belt today. So she looked really, really breezy and cool for an October day in Santa Barbara. Everything you would expect, just effortlessly chic, effortlessly fabulous. And she looked really happy. The children were very comfortable in her presence. That was very evident also. And yeah, I think that's it. Harry was not there. I mean, Harry is busy, dealing with other things. I mean, as I said, I think they're also doing a kind of they have different interests as well as common interests. And I think that they're now at a point in their relationship and their marriage where they can actually stand on their own sometimes and come together at other times when it makes when it makes sense. They're not joined at the hip, as someone said, and that's very true. But listen, you guys, I think that's all for this one. Look at this church from this angle. It's unbelievable, right? I still have to get down to the store where they sell all of the fabrics and things like that because I'm trying to find something for a little project I'm working on in the apartment. But it seems like today was the day, a fete being a party, like a neighborhood party of the wine. Like I've never heard of it, but apparently they have it every year in Montmartre, where people come together to celebrate wine. And there were like throngs and throngs of people. I don't think I've ever seen this many people in Montmartre before. So that was a little bit overwhelming. But anyway, so yeah, anyway, apparently Meghan talked about being one of the most bullied people in the world while she was meeting with teenagers. And I think that was last week, as a matter of fact. She joined them for an afternoon of games and crafts, according to the Daily Mail. And so it says here she visited on October 2nd. So I thought that this report was today, but apparently it was on October 2nd. Do excuse me for that. And it says here Larissa May, the founder of Half the Story, took part in the event alongside the Duchess and Stephanie Hall as they celebrated a collaboration. It says we did an activity where we talked through a bunch of scenarios, and Meghan talked about being one of the most bullied people in the world. May told Vanity Fair. Hmm. I think that's true. I think that is true. I mean, she has sustained a lot of bullying, and to do it and look at the way she looks is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. She's not like binge eating, cake and gaining 50 pounds, and she looks amazing. So it says here, we had girls wave these little emoji signs and talk about how each of these scenarios would have impacted them emotionally. And the social media U curriculum, which the Duchess helped try out during her visit early this month, was designed with input from the teenagers on hashtag Half the Stories advisory board. Okay, and so in March 2024, Meghan opened up about the hateful cyberbullying she received while pregnant with Archie and Lilibet. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Meghan will always have a little bit of trauma about, that. And because, I mean, in fact, it continues, doesn't it? It continues. People continue even today, as I said, just, pulling at straws just to keep Meghan in the headlines, but in a negative way, and there's so many other things going on. You would think that they would take a breather and look at these other things. They're not interested. It's just like Meghan. It's like I don't know. I can't put a word on it. I don't know if you can. But anyway, listen, what I like about Meghan is that she really just rose to the occasion. She met them and then she just flew over them. She met them where they were and then she flew over them very gracefully, very quietly, very matter of factly, and with a big smile, and sometimes wearing a red dress. She did not let these people get her down. And I don't think she ever will. Now, when she's an old woman and she looks back on her life, I don't know how this will all impact her, because sometimes, things don't impact us when we're young, but when we're old, it just drops on our heads like a ton of bricks. So I hope that along the way Meghan is really dealing with it really on a deep level, and making sure she puts that where it belongs. It's like, and not just go through the motions when she's young, to really put it where it belongs, which is away from her, outside of her, and outside of her mind in particular. Like, don't dwell on this kind of stuff, because yeah, I agree with her that she has been one of the most bullied women that I've ever seen, as far as celebrities go and so on and so forth. I've never seen any other celebrity endure what Meghan has endured. I mean, none. As I'm talking, I'm trying to think of somebody, anybody, Robin Givens, I don't know. I mean, who? I mean, usually it's a man, usually it's a woman who marries a man and that people resent her for marrying that man. And there have been a few in history. There's been Yoko Ono. There has been Robin Givens. There has been, who else has there been? I don't know. I mean, I guess that would be it. You know, women who took high profile men away from wherever people felt he belonged. They don't do well. They don't fare well. Listen, you guys, I've got to get myself some materials for a project I'm working on. And for the life of me, I'm looking all over this store. I can't find what I need. So I'm going to have to ask, I think, for some help because, years ago when I used to come up here, I feel like they had so much more choices than now, which is kind of weird. You think they'd have more choices rather than fewer choices. But it's still very, very interesting. It's one of the most interesting places in Paris, as far as I'm concerned, is Montmartre and the garment district, and coming into these garment stores and trying to find the right piece of fabric. But today I'm definitely not very successful with it. I can't find what I need, so that's kind of disappointing. Anyway, I digress. So what else do I want to say about Meghan and Harry? I think that's pretty much it, really. I wonder when her show is actually going to come out, the cooking show and the lifestyle stuff and the brand and all this stuff. I mean, I literally can't wait. And I hope she's still going to do it. I know there were some issues with the trademark, and I'm sure all of that has been cleared up behind the scenes. I mean, I don't know. But look at all of these things. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is a pretty good market. This is in Montmartre, Square Anvers. I've never been to Square Anvers. This is my first time. And it's pretty cool. Look at this stuff. Look at that. Oh my god. It's really wonderful. If you want to move to Paris and take up cooking, speaking of cooking shows, you might want to do it in Montmartre because you got a lot of good produce up here, I think, to help you with your projects. Anyway, so what else? I think that's about it for now. I'm trying to think as I talk if there's anything else. Well, listen, if you got through this far in the video, I'd be really surprised. But if you did, write in the comments, I got to the end of the video. So that I'll know that at least one person got to the end of the video, because I can't even imagine anybody getting to the end of any of my videos. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, of course I would be happy to have you subscribe. Give a thumbs up, to share my videos, help me grow my channel. I mean, my channel grows very, very slowly. I know that because it's very different and very unusual. And people are just like, what are you talking about, right?